Hello everyone, am I audible and visible? Let me know, then we'll start. Am I audible and visible? Okay, fine. Am I audible and visible? Let me confirm. So, okay, fine. Hello everyone, I'm myself Dr. Dipti. I'm MD PhD Physiology and I'm your faculty for Physiology. Okay, let me explain in brief about our subscription as well as some important announcements. Okay, we will provide you, Unacademy provides you NEET PG notes. Okay, these are comprehensive notes for the next. Okay, these are curated for live test of Unacademy. Okay, we have well structured, high exam oriented notes are also available, so stay tuned for the same. Another announcement here is if you get subscription of 1 year, you will get 6 months subscription extended. Okay, and you can use my code DIPTI10 to get this discount. Okay, fine. Now, uh, we have two kinds of subscription, as you all know: plus subscription and iconic subscription. In plus subscription, you can choose the best from the best. Here you can access both live and recorded classes. You can study on the device of your choice. You can learn from India's top educators for medical exams. You can compete in the live test and quizzes, and you can access question bank, which is having more than 25,000 questions. Other is iconic subscription. Here your access to the best from two of the best, and they are: one is Unacademy Prep Ladder with Unacademy, all the features you are knowing I have discussed, and other is Unacademy and Prep Ladder with Prep Ladder. Here you can have clinical and integrated essentials, video lectures from the Dream Team, Question Bank 3 with active guidance, system tags, and more, rapid revision and snapshots and treasures in 2021 Dream Notes. Another is launching Unacademy Lite for NEET PG. This is NEET PG test series, more than 450 practice tests, which includes subject-wise test series for all 19 subjects, system-wise test series, full-length mock test is available, previous year question papers, test series curated with top educators, they are also available. These are NEET PG September 2021 toppers and FMGA toppers. Special class features added in the special class. We made the class interactive and live. Facility of poll for the learner. Have a facility of raise a hand. You can never miss a class, as you are always notified for the class. You can get lecture PDF notes and you can access the class at anywhere and at any time. Another batches started, that is NEET PG 2022 PYQ batch for 2 months, that is from 2nd March to 2nd May 2022. Focus FMG 2022 comprehensive batch for 2 months, 2nd March to 2nd May. Focus FMG 2022 comprehensive batch for 9 months. This is from March 2nd to November 2nd. Target Next 2023 subject wise batch, that is from 2nd March for 1 year. NEET PG 2022 all educator revision batch is also available. Some batches started from 16th Feb. This is for 9 months and for 4 months too. Okay, so these are our subscription plus as well as iconic. You can subscribe from your mobile and you can use my code DIPTI10 to get extra 10% discount. Okay, now another is we have NEET PG 2022 All India mock test. This test is scheduled on March 27 at 9 a.m. Okay, and you can use my code DIPTI10 and you can enroll for the same. Okay, now this is again. So now today we'll start with the respiratory system. We will discuss some of the functional anatomy of respiratory system. Okay. Now, so respiratory, the word respire, which comes from the Latin word that is breathing. So respiration, that is related with the breathing. Okay. And function of respiratory system, that is to provide oxygen and to remove carbon dioxide. Okay, oxygen is provided and carbon dioxide is removed. Okay, oxygen consumption of an adult body, that is 250 ml per minute, and carbon dioxide consumption, that is 200 ml per minute. Okay, so this is main function of respiratory system. Now this respiration is again of two types, internal and external respiration. Now what is this external and internal respiration? Now here you can see internal respiration means, you can see here this one, when oxygen enters inside the cell and cell utilizes oxygen and cell produces carbon dioxide. So this respiratory process, when the oxygen enters inside the cell, that is internal respiration. Fine. And second is external respiration. Now external respiration, that is exchange of gases between atmosphere. From atmosphere gas enters inside and reaches to the body cell, so that is external respiration. Fine. Now so external respiration includes three processes. Number one, pulmonary ventilation. Second, pulmonary diffusion. And third, that is transport of gases between blood and body cells. Okay, so you can see here. So first, that is pulmonary ventilation. What is pulmonary ventilation? That is exchange of gases between atmosphere and lung. When gas enters from atmosphere inside the lung, that is pulmonary ventilation. Okay. Second is diffusion. Diffusion means now the gas reaches to the alveoli here. So here what happens, from alveoli this oxygen enters, you can see here, in the blood, and carbon dioxide is excreted from blood into the alveoli. So this is second process, that is pulmonary diffusion. Okay. And third process, now this oxygenated blood, when this blood contains oxygen, now this oxygenated blood, it passes through the circulation, reaches to the cell. So this is the third process of external respiration. Okay, so external respiration, as we have discussed, that is exchange of gases between atmosphere to the cell. Okay, atmosphere to the cell means from atmosphere gas reaches to the cell, that is external respiration, which includes three processes. One, that is pulmonary ventilation. Second, that is pulmonary diffusion. And third, that is transport of gases. Fine. So this is basic regarding our respiratory system. Now respiratory system, as we have discussed, it mainly includes lungs. This lungs, they act as a pump. Okay, and this respiratory mechanisms, they are important for ventilation of the lung. Now this pump consists of your chest wall and the muscles of the respiration. Okay, fine. Now you can see here, this is chest wall and these are the muscles of respiration. We will discuss in detail about respiratory muscles and their functions. Okay, fine. Now chief organs. Which are the chief organs for respiration? Now we discuss about respiratory passages starting from the nose to the bronchioles. Okay. So first, as we are knowing that chief organs for respiration, they are right and left lung and respiratory passages. Okay. So now you can see here. So right and left lung, we all are knowing that we have two lungs, but now respiratory passages first we will discuss. What is the respiratory passage and what are their actions? Okay, so respiratory passages, they start from, you can see, nair. These are external nairs. Right and left nairs are there. Okay, opening of the nasal cavity. Okay, this nairs, they are continuous in the nasal cavity. So second structure here. Now this nasal cavity is continue with the pharynx. Pharynx has got three parts. Nasopharynx, continuous with the nose. Oropharynx, continuous with the oral cavity. And laryngopharynx, this is continuous with the larynx. Okay, so this is nasal cavity, which is continuous with the pharynx. Okay, now what is the function of nasal cavity? Nasal cavity is important for warming of air. Warming. Why warming? Because the air which is you can say cold, suppose, or dry, that gets warmed. So warming and humidification of air. Water vapors are added. Humidification of air. That is the function of nasal cavity. Other function is filtration. Large particles are filtered in the nasal cavity. Okay, fine. Now, next, as I told you, nasal cavity is continuous with the pharynx. As I told you, pharynx has got three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. You can see here, nasopharynx, this one, it is continuous with the nasal cavity. Oropharynx continuous with the oral cavity, and laryngopharynx continuous with the larynx. Okay. Now, suppose when we are breathing air from the nose, this air will directly enter in the oropharynx. This will not go to nasopharynx and nasal cavity. Fine. Now, next is larynx. This laryngopharynx, it is continuous with the larynx. Okay, larynx, you can see that is continuous with the trachea. Okay, this one. Okay, and trachea, that has tracheobronchial tree. Tracheobronchial tree means now this trachea, it has multiple divisions. Trachea divides into bronchi, then small bronchioles, okay, and ultimately into the alveoli, and that is known as tracheobronchial tree. Divisions are 23 divisions. This model was given by Wibble. So this is known as Wibble's lung model. Okay. Now, what is the importance of this tracheobronchial tree? This tracheobronchial tree, because if suppose only one trachea in this part is there, the surface area is less. But if this is divided into multiple bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli, the surface area increases. Okay, you can see here, surface area of trachea only, this one, that is only 2.5 centimeters square. Okay, but if we are talking about surface area of total all the alveoli, that is 11,800 centimeters square. You can see how much surface area can be increased. What is the advantage of increased surface area? Because of increase in the surface area, gas exchange is possible. Exchange of gases, that is fast. Okay, fine. Now we discuss about this tracheobronchial tree, that is also known as Wibble's model. Okay, 23 divisions are there. 23 divisions are there. Okay, Wibble's model. Okay, so you can see here, this is the trachea that is divided into bronchi, right and left bronchi. Okay, so first, trachea is equal to 0. So write down, try to remember this model. Trachea 0, then bronchi. So these are principal bronchi, number 1. Then when it enters into the lobes, that is lobar bronchi, that is number 2. Okay, then segmental bronchi, number 3, third generation. Okay, then comes segmental bronchi are divided into several times, and ultimately they form, you can see here, now no bronchi, that is bronchiole. You can see here, this are small one. Okay, several generations bronchi, they form terminal bronchioles. This bronchiole generation number is 16, and from 16 to 22, or you can say 16 is 17, sorry, 16th is terminal bronchiole, so 17 to 22, that is respiratory bronchioles. Because here, why respiratory bronchioles? Because here gas exchange is possible, so it is respiratory bronchioles. I repeat all the divisions. Number 0, trachea, this one 0. Principal bronchi 1, first generation. Lobar bronchi, generation 2. Segmental bronchi, because they will go in the segments. These are, you can see, segmental bronchi. Okay, then comes multiple generation of segmental bronchi. several generation, and ultimately terminal bronchioles generation number 16. 17 to 22, that is your respiratory bronchioles, and last 23, that is alveolar duct and alveolar sac or alveoli. Okay, so this is your Wibbel's model of 23 divisions. Okay, now, so this was about anatomical classification. Anatomically, this 23 models, 23 divisions are there. Now we'll discuss about functional division. So this we have already discussed. You can see here, terminal bronchioles, generation number 16. Okay, this one. Then respiratory bronchioles, generation 17 to 22. And alveoli, that is generation 23. This is Wibbel's model. Now, functional division, two types of zones are there. Zones means one zone, that is, you can see here, where no respiration takes place, means that is known as conducting zone. Very important thing here, conducting zone, that is from nose to terminal bronchioles. Number 16, bronchioles. Division number 16th division. Okay, that is conducting zone. Why conducting zone? Because here only conduction takes place. Okay, you can see air is conducted. Okay, no respiration, no gas exchange takes place, and therefore this air is known as dead space air. Air present in the conducting zone is known as dead space air. Okay, now next is respiratory zone. You can see here from nose to this terminal bronchioles, this one, this is your conducting zone. No gas exchange. Fine. Respiratory zone, that is respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct and alveoli, that is respiratory zone. Why? Because here gas exchange is possible. This is known as respiratory zone, and total volume of the respiratory zone is 4 liters. 4 liter of air is there in the respiratory zone. Fine. Again, you can see here, this is the same thing. This you can see, this is conducting zone up to terminal bronchiole, and now this is your respiratory bronchiole having respiratory zone, or you can say exchange zone. Now we discuss about histology. Histological features of tracheobronchial tree. So you can see trachea, trachea and initial bronchi, they have, you can see, cartilaginous rings. This kind of rings are present here. Okay, trachea and initial bronchi. Fine. Trachea and initial bronchi of few generation, they have cartilaginous rings. Okay, now this cartilaginous rings, they are incomplete posteriorly. Okay, you can see here posteriorly they are not present here. Okay, this one. Okay, now, so these are incomplete posteriorly. What is the role of this incomplete cartilaginous rings? When there is a contraction of trachea, when trachea contracts, this cavity inside the trachea, that will not be obliterated completely because of this cartilaginous rings, but this cartilaginous rings are present only in the trachea and initial few generation of bronchi. Okay, and they are not present, they are absent in, you can see after this blue color, are not present here, absent in the terminal bronchioles, respiratory bronchioles and alveoli. Fine. Now, next, histological structure. So one important histological characteristic here, that is cartilaginous rings. Fine. Second is smooth muscles. You can see here, these are the smooth muscles. This cartilaginous rings, they are separated by this smooth muscles. Fine. Now in this bronchi, You can see here, these are the bronchi. These smooth muscles are circular, like circle. Okay, but when it reaches to terminal bronchioles, this circular muscles, they become like sphincter, so they obliterate this bronchiole. Okay, and in alveoli we don't have smooth muscles. This is histology. Another is epithelium, epithelial lining. In the trachea and bronchi, few generation, the epithelium is columnar. When we reach to the bronchioles, this becomes cuboidal, and in alveoli we have simple squamous epithelium. Okay, fine. Now, here, this columnar epithelium, which is present in the trachea and large bronchi, this columnar epithelium is ciliated. Cilia is present. You can see here. These are the cilia. Now, this cilia, they are absent in the alveoli. They are present only in the initial columnar epithelium. Okay. Now, this cilia, what is the function of cilia? Because the cilia, they continuously move, continuously beat. So, whenever any foreign particle is there that enters in the respiratory tract, that is being removed by the continuous beating action of the cilia. Okay, fine. Another thing is, in this epithelium we have goblet cells. This goblet cells, they secrete mucus. Okay, so they secrete mucus, and you can see this deep serous glands, they are present in the trachea and bronchi, but this serous glands, they are absent in the bronchioles and alveoli. Fine. Now, next, functional anatomy we will discuss, that is respiratory unit. Now, what is this respiratory unit? Respiratory unit consists of, you can see here we have discussed respiratory bronchioles. This are, you can see, bronchioles, respiratory bronchioles. Then alveolar duct. This are, then alveoli. This are alveolar duct and alveoli. Okay. Now, in our lungs, total we have 300 million alveoli present. Okay. Now, so this 300 million alveoli with a diameter of 0.2 micrometer, these two things you have to remember. Number of alveoli in lungs, that is 300 million, and the diameter is 0.2 micrometer. And third thing, that is surface area. Total surface area of all this alveoli, that is 70 meters square. It is equal to tennis court. Total area of tennis court, that is, you can see how much large area is there in our lungs. And what is the advantage of large area? This large area provides large area for the gas exchange. So gas exchange is easy. Fine. Now, another important functional characteristic here, you can see again, this is terminal bronchiole, respiratory bronchiole, alveolar duct, and alveolar sac or alveoli, both are same. Now, next is microscopic structure inside the alveoli. As we have discussed, the epithelium of alveolus, that is simple squamous epithelium, alveolar epithelium. Okay. Now, this alveolar epithelium has two types of cells. Number one is flat cells. You can see here, I will show you this type 1. Type 1 pneumocytes or flat cells, which is having large cytoplasmic extensions. Okay, these are known as primary lining cells. This one. Okay. Second are, just a minute. These are, you can see here. These are type 1. I will show you this one. These are the cells in the alveoli. Type 1, primary epithelial cells. Okay, and these are type 2 cells. Very important one, type 2 cells. These are thick cells, and they have lamellar inclusion bodies. They have lamellar inclusion bodies, you can see here, and they secrete surfactant. This is one of the very important structures, surfactant, which is secreted by type 2 alveolar epithelial cells, pneumocytes. Fine, they secrete surfactant. Surfactant has very important functions. We will discuss in detail along with all the functions of respiratory system. Fine. This is again same thing. I'll show you. So again, you can see alveolar cells. Alveolar wall has, as I told you, type 1 cells. Type 1 alveolar epithelial cells. These are cells, flat cells with cytoplasmic extensions. Okay, and type 2 cells, pneumocytes. Type 2 pneumocytes, or you can say that they are known as your surfactant secreting cells, granular pneumocytes. Other cells are, they also have alveolar macrophages. Macrophages, their function is phagocytosis. Also it has got lymphocytes, plasma cells, and APUD cells, that is amine precursor uptake and decarboxylation cells. These cells, they secrete biologically active substances like vasoactive intestinal peptide, substance P, etc. And they also secrete mast. They also have mast cell. Okay. Now, next important structure, that is respiratory membrane. Okay. Now, what is this respiratory membrane? You can see here in between your alveoli, this one. Alveoli, this is alveolus, this one. And blood vessel. You can see, suppose these are your all alveoli. Okay. And these are blood vessels. Fine. In between, we have a membrane, and this is your respiratory membrane. Thickness of the membrane is 0.5 micrometer. Fine. Just a minute. You can see here, this is the respiratory membrane. It has got 5 layers. Try to remember these layers also. Number 1 is simple squamous epithelium. As I told you, this is the epithelium of alveolus. This one, simple squamous epithelium 1. Second, basement membrane of the epithelium, alveolar epithelium. Okay, second layer. Third layer, in between they have interstitial fluid. This one, third one. Okay. Fourth, basement membrane of the capillary. This one you can see, basement membrane of the capillary. And fourth one, that is simple squamous epithelium of the capillary. Sorry, fifth one. So these are 5 layers: simple squamous epithelium of alveolus, then basement membrane, then interstitial fluid, then epithelium, basement membrane, and epithelium of the capillary. Okay, next is innervation. Respiratory tract that is innervated by parasympathetic and sympathetic fibers. Parasympathetic from the vagus nerve, and when vagus nerve is stimulated, there is bronchoconstriction and bronchial secretions are increased. Okay, and this vagus stimulation, that is regulated by various substances, like suppose if there is inhalant, irritant, chemicals, they all stimulate vagus nerve, and that results in the asthmatic attack if somebody has allergic asthma. Okay, and other thing is this vagal tone, or you can see vagus has circadian rhythm. What is circadian rhythm? This vagus tone is highest in the early morning. So the person is having asthma, they have asthmatic attack in the early morning. Okay. Next is sympathetic. Sympathetic stimulation, that causes sympathetic activity. It causes bronchodilation, and secretions are decreased. Okay, so this is the function of sympathetic activity. So this is all about today's functional anatomy of respiratory system. Thank you all. Thanks for watching me. Like, share, and subscribe our channel on Academy Future Doctor.